What up, what up? Think we're gonna bet it up. All right, Cutlass. Oklahoma Cutlass on the lift. Got my surgical tools ready over here. We got the cutoff wheel. We got the plate I'm gonna be making to put in. We got the grinder. The torch is out. I got the shed completely tore down, and I decided all the lumber that was out there, you know, trash ass 2x4s, old as hell. Put about 6 or 7 2x4s in there, lit it, boom. It was reading 44 degrees in here, and within the last, what, 20 minutes, that thing's saying 58. The heater over there is saying 62. Feels good in here. Had my son come out and check to see if it looked a little hazy. When I first started it up, the wood burner, I just did it to get rid of, here, let me show you. Let me show you. That shit. That's all. You can smell the wood coming outside the burn. Anyways, no more shed. See that, y'all? Totally cleaned up where that tree, where my tree is right there. No more shed, no more debris, no wood in the ground, nothing. Burn pile's looking good. Didn't want to throw all this shit in here, all the metal pieces that are on there, but I can burn all that. Let's see if he doesn't get, the neighbor doesn't get a eye from that direction over here and then call code enforcement and complain about this because he's a crybaby ass. I know I've said it 100 times over. He just had well, there he is out there now. Oh, he's gonna start a fire. He's gonna start a fire. Hopefully he burns himself up. But anyways, that's the crybaby right there. And he'll cry about that to code enforcement. He's still crying about my recycle bin, code enforcement. He just had his mommy, old ass lady, on the gator, and he was pointing over here, and he did a big circle on that grass here right there and pointing over here, but she didn't even care. She just took her hand and was like pushing it down, like probably telling him, just leave him alone, leave him alone, because he's a crybaby. All right, anyways, back to this. I'm going to cut this out. Yeah, see how it says trash? Trash. I gotta cut this tube out first. Man, I went crazy when I welded it up. I didn't want this thing falling off the trailer when I brought it here. But that welded it there, welded it there, welded it there, there. But I gotta cut this tube out. And then, look at, like, what's the point of frame notching if you made this go out and up, which you can see the tire was rubbing anyways. I'm gonna get that all out of there, do one side at a time, keep as much strapped together as I can. Make sure it doesn't move. I'm gonna put a screw jack underneath the back. I'll put a screw jack right here. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this cut. Where's that cut? I'll show you guys. More on the Oklahoma Cutlass. No, I did not make that cut. And then once I get this figured out, I mean, I got it figured out. I just gotta do it. How the tub is going to go in there. Like I said, normally for G bodies you do a 36-inch tub. I got 38-inch tubs for this thing, so we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to fit it. If I'm going to full tub it or not. Mini tub it, full tub it, trash tub it. Anyways, I fired up the wood burner just to get rid of that shit, and it brought it up nice and warm in here. Very comfortable. Cut that up. All right. Got that plate cut out of there. Got it all back trimmed. It's 70. Well, this one's not reading 7. That's reading 61.7. But this one over here, bro. It was up to 70. It was 70 degrees in here. And I've only burnt a couple 2x4s in there. So this insulation helped out a lot. I mean, yeah, it's 45 outside. But to be 20 degrees warmer inside, my fat ass was a little uncomfortable for a second there. But cutting and grinding this shit and making sure which way to blow the sparks and not burn the sun on the T-tops and shit. And so I slit the bottom, took the plate off, then I cut up this way to blow the sparks backwards. But now I'll have, I mean, this is gonna stay, but this is straight up and down right here with the level. The car's level side to side, so this is straight up and down. So this ain't straight up and down yet. I had to take more off the top. But then, like I said, I'm gonna take that 3/16 plate, probably lay it in the bottom, or I'll bevel it to make it, you know, to where I can weld along. But piece after piece after piece after piece after piece after piece. So yeah. And then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do in here with the tubs. Again, I should just full tub it. But yeah, so that's pretty thin, but it's gonna have 3/16 plate over that. And then I'm gonna get up in here and I'll probably put a tube across and then go up from here into there, or maybe into the corner, and then lay a tube up in here to that, which I still have to move that. So, but I'm focused on this thing. Get it all buttoned up. Yeah, it looks a little hazy in here. I just turned this inducer fan off. I wanted to see if any smoke was gonna come out of this, but I don't think any smoke's coming out of the inducer fan. That propels to shoot it out. But there ain't nothing but some ash. Yeah, it's basically burned out. Look at all the nails. Shit. Yeah. This metal around here helped. I mean, this shit, it's not that bad now, but all this metal helped. Radiator and insulation helped. That roof being sealed, now this heat is going up. I had the fan on, and I ended up having to have it on full blast at the end. And oh yeah, it was feeling, like I said, this one's a little goofy. I think it's just too old, but this one says 61.6. Obviously that one over there, you saw it said 67, but I actually ended up at 70 on that. But obviously with the vent, or the inlet there, and that being mounted to there, that's probably why that was reading. You guys are gonna know more about insulating and heaters and burning wood burners and shit. It does look a little hazy. I'm gonna open up this door. But I was just grinding and cutting shit out of that. That was causing a lot of. See how much we got rolling out. Oh yeah, we got a lot. But that's more from cutting on the car. I just did a lot of cutting. I went through 4 cutoff wheels. When you go through cutting that frame after somebody's already welded it, it's harder to cut it out, them cutoff wheels. And then some of the angles, it just starts eating them blades up. I ran them all the way down too. Look at the bucket right here. Let's see what I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of the cutoffs. 1 grinding did. Oh, 5 with that one. Ran it all the way down. So yeah, so I'll have it as straight as I can possibly keep it. Obviously starting this way, you know, plating it and following it. I'll be able to keep, you know, front to back straight. I know it's a lot more work the way that I'm doing it. I could cut that plate, but this plate is only 1/8 inch. I'll put it back in there, but I want to make it stronger, so stripping the 3/16 in there, make it stronger. Like I said, I should have just cut it out, put 2x3'd it. This back here, I'm still gonna cut, and then I'll plate it straight. So it'll be straight into the corner. This all up here. I gotta push this up. I gotta tag all that. Lot more work to go. I just gotta stay focused. Stay focused. Got a little bit of downtime with everything else. And just chop on this thing. So I'll get this thing all plated in tomorrow. Hopefully it goes good. Might have to get some more 3/16 plate, but I'm on it. Got that up. We'll see how it comes out. What up, what up? Back on it. So, everything, it's 50 degrees outside, it's 60 degrees in here. I know you guys are like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, 60 degrees in here. Got a little bit of wood going in there. That was on for a little bit. It's been on for a while. Trimming this up, making this plumb straight up and down so I can fit the metal pieces in there. But I said I was getting that VVOR heater. Well, I got the VVOR heater. Did I know it was gonna be this small? No, I didn't. So anyways, it burns diesel, exhausted out the building. It's got a muffler out there. The exhaust temperature is actually like 300 and something degrees. So that's crazy that's hotter than what's coming out here. But this is like 95 degrees. I mean, it's moving some air. So it's packing a punch for being a little thing. And you got this, extension on here, but some of you guys will like that. The neighbor definitely like that. Likes the shape, likes the color, likes how Oh shit. They actually started commenting on my Facebook. I told you they'd be stalking the shit out of me. They'd be watching everything, watching this, everything. So if you go on my Facebook, the Timothy Warren page, you'll see they got the girlfriend, the kid's girlfriend over there, commenting on my shit, which is actually the one we call Shaggy, commenting under her name. I'm telling you, dude, they be watching, they be stalking. They worry about me. Their infatuation with me, I don't know. But anyways, this VVOR heater is actually quiet with the exhaust on the outside. You can't even hear it outside, which I don't care. It's blowing that way. But that little bitty thing, and it's just at 100%. But this going underneath the car, keeping the lift pretty warm, being able to go underneath you. Just got it, set it up, screwed it on there, bolted that together, boom. So now I got 3 sources of heat to wear this winter, and then 4 sources of heat, because obviously the insulation helped a ton. That thing was $100. The fuel was $6, which I got that can right there full of diesel. So that should work in there plenty. I think it says that thing, full tank, and that thing all the way up, that's 2 liters. So with that thing turned all the way up at level 5, whatever the hell it is, blowing out 100 and something degrees, will run for 8 hours. So more than enough for me being out here. This thing is burning the 2x4s from the shed right now. But my buddy from last year, brought me some firewood last year. He says he's got a place for the next couple of days. In a week or so, we're gonna go and run some chainsaws and get a whole truck or 2 full of some logs for the wood burner. And I haven't piped it out this side yet, but it's fine right there. It's working fine. That cap that's right there, the mushroom head cap, the one that was on the back of the building, broke off, flew off, whatever. So really should put that on there. But it's working fine. It's not smoky in here. Boom. 3/16. Okay. So this straight up and down. So I'll make it plumb, but see how I'll be able to weld, 45, leave leave a 45 right there, be able to weld it together and boom, and cut the bottom, like tack this piece on, then cut the bottom out inside the frame right here, and then be able to weld it across down there, and then do the next one, and the next one, and keep it straight, go all the way back. I know it's a lot more work, but this is a piece of 3/16, and I needed to be close to get as much strength. So like right here, we'll be touching here. So I got some more shaving to do up here. And then as it gets back here, I'm gonna go as thin as I possibly can, but with the 3/16 on there, it'll basically come out to whatever. But I'm gonna put on the back here, I'm gonna put some metal too to make it stronger back here. But I do have just enough here for the width of how the wheel is, the depth of the wheel at 12 inches. So slowly but surely. And like I said, this tub area, I got 38-inch tubs. Once I get all this and get all this figured out, to strengthen all this shit up and figure out exactly what I'm gonna do back here, it's gonna have more bracing to it, because like this square tube is still gonna come down here, come back here, go along the back of the tub, and then here, there, and around the back of the tub. So it's gonna strengthen up everything a lot more. But yeah. All right, y'all. Quick little next part of this video. And of course, still gonna cut the trunk hinges. The trunk hinge, I have the piece of this square in here, so it put me down some. You know, so it won't go all the way up, but it'll be squared here, so that way I can cut the bottom off, so this round edge doesn't hit the tub, and get more clearance and the tub is set. You guys that are tubbing these and you're keeping the tub low and keeping this to where it's down here, then you really can't tuck. I don't know. And then I've seen the guys make the tubs, and then they'll notch out a section for the trunk hinge to go down into the tub. What the hell's the point of that? I don't know. Shit's crazy. I know there's things that I do that everybody else can do easier and better, and my way's harder, but you know. All right, y'all. Let's just say back here. 59.9. 59.9. Basically 59.9. 62, I don't know. It's there. Let me get the welder. Got that up. Alright, y'all. Very, very, very windy out there. Y'all can hear it. Got like 29, 40 something mile an hour winds. Look at this. I got this frame rail back here 90%. I set the wheel up underneath there to see how much clearance I got. Oh, my wrench is over there. That's all wind. Look at this. So, you know, this car was previously cut, so I can clean up that cut towards the front some more. But it clears. It clears right there. I think that's a nice height. It would actually sit a little bit lower if you put some sounds in it, you know what I'm saying, once everything's set. The trunk hinge completely clears, so you can see it doesn't have to be all the way up in there. So at this point, it's gonna be like half mini tub, half full tub. You can see how this section goes flat right there. So I'm gonna cut that as far over as possible so I can keep it curved, because like I said, I have 38-inch tubs, not 36-inch tubs for this. So the 38 basically does come almost back here. I want to say it's like right width. But you see I got that. I haven't cleaned it up yet, but how I plated it all the way, and then I'll flex this back section in some. But I haven't recapped the back here and how I'm gonna mount this mount. I got all the pieces to mount it, so I gotta fix all that structure. So still a lot more work to go. I haven't cut this one out yet, but you can see this side. See how when I cut it that then, and when I was welding, once I got back to this section, I was able to tap this in. So this might have moved a little bit on that side inward, but that's fine. As long as I get my clearance back here. But you can see how much narrower I made that frame rail, which it needed. And of course, the way I welded on the top, I gotta clean it all up. Yeah. A lot of little work. It's worse to touch it after somebody else fucked it up. So the car was fucked up from the original people that cut the whole back of the car out when it didn't need it. I know I've said this over and over and over. And then this back frame section came off the other car, and this back frame section was fucked up how they notched it. You know, how can a professional just go and slap shit together? Somebody that you know knows how to do the shit right, and they just slapped it together, boogered it up. I mean, come on. Put the holes in that. Just to ship it, just to get it in and out. Fucking, who gives a fuck? Fuck them. Take their money, shit like that. Oh, jeez. I think I just left it. Alright, so I'm liking how everything's coming out. The tubs will go all the way over to that. But now I can get into that area to put my other upright in there of the 3/4, and I'll be able to mount the half moon to that. Then I can cut the half moon to shape the frame rail how I want it to shape it. And then I can build from there to make the half moons fit. And then put the half moons together, you know, make the other piece fit. Put the half moons together, put it in there and start trimming. Yeah, I think it looks good for a big tire. 7-inch lip. Again, 26 by 11, 12 overall width, 305/30 tire. That's a big tire. 7-inch lip. So now I'll be able to figure out. Amani has, like, you don't have to narrow really much. So now I, you know, get an idea of what length I want the axles to be. Then I got plenty of clearance from the roller to the frame. So even if I do go a little bit narrower, it's going to be fine. This car, like I said, this car can be set up for an 8-inch lip, because you can do, you know, most 8-inch lips are 20, whatever, by 11. They have an 8-inch lip, so you'll be able to change right to an 8-inch lip with this thing. Well, yeah, you change the back barrel to front barrel, back barrel to a smaller barrel, front barrel to a bigger barrel, boom. And if whatever spacing I have on there, take that off. Boom. But this car, that looks good. I think it looks real good. It's a good looking wheel. Alright, y'all. Been out here for a few hours today. A little V-bore heater been running. I had the wood burner running. I had it up to safety again today, with it being 33 outside. This heater is ran full today. I only got it set at like 55. The wood burner, with all the wind, I don't have a cap on the chimney out there, so the wood burner, a couple times the wind poofed, made that thing puff smoke out of it. And I had the inducer fan all the way up. But no, it was fine in here. The wind, you know, making it feel like 8 degrees outside. It's all wide open out here, so that's what makes it worse out here. But yeah, alright y'all. Slowly but surely getting it. Slowly but surely setting up underneath there pretty good. Like I said, it's got plenty of clearance. Plenty of clearance to the outer tub. Probably just flex this area back here, trim it, get the brace out of there, trim that, boom, and see how well the 38 is going to curve to it. So I might end up being close to the body back here, you know, overlap a little bit. Alright, y'all. Bet that up. Bet it up. Alright, y'all. Have you seen? I had that black short bed in here, that cat eye. Put a bolt-in C-notch in it real fast. Got a pile of wood right here left over from the shed. And I'm burning. Had it cut up. I still got a little bit more right there that I gotta get in, let it dry. But the tubs, I got this half moon figured out. As you can see, it's fitted up in there. That bottom corner I get trimmed up a little more, but I started to cut the car here. Like I said, this is a 38-inch tub because those wheels and tires are so big. But I centered it where I wanted it. So how this is going to be back behind here just a little bit. But how I have to build the mount set up here, I'm probably going to end up cutting it. I don't know. I gotta figure this shit out. But this part of the tub on the car is flat right here. That's the brace. So I cut it over more. So my number from here over to here, 13 is what it's coming out to be. Right in this area is probably the widest, like 14. But as it comes up in here, you know, we got this, how it bumps in. But the main structure of the outer tub is right here, and there's bracing all through up here. I wasn't the one that originally cut this shit out, but that was cut out with a torch or a plasma, all this shit. So while I'm in here, I'm probably gonna have to plate this down. I know I'm gonna be right underneath the hinge, so I'm not gonna have to touch the hinge. You can see where that's at. It's gotta go in a little bit more. Anyways, now I've made this one, fitted it, clamped it on to the frame, went on the inside, traced it to the body. That's how I came up with this cut. So actually this side did go up a little higher, but that would hurt me with everything else. Being down is fine. I'll get the exact on there or whatever. This I did fully weld in because I am going to leave that cross brace, these little shock tails. I'm going to get in there and fully weld them. This still needs to be cleaned up. This is nowhere near finished. I know, like I said, it took a lot longer to do it this way than the other way, but once you put some paint on here or some bed liner all through the whole wheel well when it's done, it'll be fine. I do have mounts for this area. These are the parts place ones. These are what was left over from that black Grand Prix. And as you can see, the two-piece. So this will sit up in the frame, and the body will be up here. Then this will go inside the frame, and then the bolt. The bolt I want to use. I have these two right here, and look. See how soft they are? This is how soft they are. This is how they come. So when people were saying that, oh, these, they get soft over time. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, they don't. This is it. And what I'm talking about is this is the one that everybody ends up leaving out. That goes right here. There's a hole in the frame right there, and that's where this goes. Does it need this? I mean, it's soft as hell. Does it need it? No, it doesn't need it. Will I put it in there after I get it all figured out? I might put it in there. But does it need it? It doesn't need it. And I got so much bracing underneath this car. Anyway, so I got the mounts that I need. And then there's a box. There's something over here that's got a whole bunch of, oh, right here. Look at my mess. See these structure pieces? I kept these structure pieces for that car. So I could just build a setup to put this in there. Do I have to? Oh look, here's the original ones for that car. So I have the smaller ones to put back in there. I thought I had 2 of these setups, but I do have that, so I can make the setups to put in there. By the time I'm done, I mean, there really isn't going to be a reason to take the car off the frame. So, and it's going to be strong as shit. I'm going to be bracing everywhere. Like I said, I'm still going to run a tube across there. I'm going to tie into the torque boxes here, and then I'm going to tie into that bar. And then I think I'm going to run another one across here for the frame tails, or at least across the back. So, a lot of work, y'all. A lot of work. I hate doing tubs. I don't want to do tubs no more. You know, I like G-bodies, 24s, 7-inch lip. I don't have to any tub them. But you guys out there, look up stock tubs, stock extended tubs for G-bodies. They make it to where you undo the spot welds throughout the whole thing, and then it gives you the room where we need it. It gives you the room back here in this corner where you need it. It gives you the room right here where you need it. And then you're able to tack weld it all back in, plug weld it all back into the stock area. So they do make them. I mean, I'd probably do those. I just hate these. You know, you gotta fab it all. I just don't like doing tubs no more. I know I could have cut that to go with that, this and that, but I had to trace it from the back side. And then the way that cross brace is put in there. But anyways, I'm gonna try to get it low. So how it was sitting on with the tire sitting underneath there on the ground, make it sit like that for when it leaves, and then whatever weight he puts in it, all the interior is not even in there, but whatever sounds and all that stuff he ends up putting in the trunk. Gotta bring it down more, but the car had plenty of adjustment and plenty of clearance. It's a little cold today. Today is like 18 degrees out right now. The wood burner was burning. I don't know how it goes, how today it was burning. It was burning faster. The wood was burning faster than today. The little V-bore heater over there is still going. It's been going for like 5-6 hours I've been out here. The big heater, it only turned on a few times. Well, I guess that's a plus. That one runs on diesel. That one runs on wood. This one runs on propane. Oh, the cheapest is the wood. Just gives you a fucking headache. I got a headache right now. So yeah, I traced, put the pieces back to back, so this is the right side. I'm gonna go through, cut this. I had double markings, but now, like I said, I'm trying to figure out this exact out, so then I can come over here, lay it out on this, get my shears out, and cut it. Then I gotta form it. So this side that's bent, depending on which one I pick for left or right, the bent, because that side's all right. This side's bent. So I already cut off about 3 inches of the back side of this left tub. So then I can cut, I can cut that off. So I don't need it. Then I can form that piece. The other piece slips into there. You fold that over. Then I can take the tub together and slide it in. See where it hits. See where it needs to be trimmed. Pull it back out, trim it, mark it, trim it, boom, in, out, boom, until I get it to where I want it. And then start tagging it in. There's still a lot of structure. I mean, this is, it's solid. The car really don't move too much. But I'll be able to get this as close to here as possible. Obviously be able to weld it on the inside of the car here. Tag, weld, but it's close to out here, and then I could weld to it because the car's getting painted. But you could just, obviously you got this area still to tag to. I got to clean all this shit off here. Couldn't even grind it, so that's gonna be messy. But this is probably gonna get trimmed up more like that, and then that way this piece will go straight across and at 13 inches or 14 inches, whatever I gotta trim it down to, be able to tag. And then, like I said, down here, be able to caulk it to the car. But I do think my biggest number is 14, and it's only in this little bitty area. So, a lot of work, y'all, a lot of work. I still gotta get that rear end out from underneath there. It's just hanging there. But every day, a few hours a day, and everything's getting closer and closer and closer. Like I said, the frame brace is totally done, except for the little bit I'm gonna do in the back. The rear end is right there on the floor. I'm gonna go 25 on axle length, so that rear end will measure 51. It'll be 51 inches from outside of axle to outside of axle. So more than enough for a 7-inch lip, 51 inches on a G-body. Regular width on a G-body is 58 inches. Stock width on a G-body is 58 inches. So there you go. If you go down to 51, boom. 3.5 inches off each side. This wheel's got the big back. So, and the 7-inch front. So 51, that's the number, 51. I'm gonna call, get the axles ordered. 4 3/4 bolt circle, 3-inch half-inch screw-in studs. There'll be Moser axles, be 30 spline, and then it'll still be C-clip. And then, like I said, I have the gear, the posi, and bearing kit for that housing. That's his. It's in the car. Super drop boxes, coilovers, brackets. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if I have shock tabs for the top or not, because those tabs are already on there. This frame section right here already had 6s on it, so it should fall right into place of where it was. But yeah, all right, y'all. I got a nasty ass headache. I can feel some cold air on my head, which is, I'm crying. I'm just crying, Slowly, but sure. Got that up. I'm on it. Ooh, man. All right, y'all. That's all I got left of wood for right now. But it's nice and warm in here. Again, it's like 58 degrees, 60 degrees in here. And my fat ass is working. 2 shirts on, got my sleeves on, got my insulated pants on. But look at the mess on the floor. Piece of tub, piece of tub, piece of tub, pieces of tub, the other piece of tub. fitted the half moon together. It's just sitting there. I gotta get it up behind this, how I originally fitted it. But like I was saying about how out here was gonna end up being. So I'm all the way in right there, but there's a little spot I need to trim on the car where the seat belt reinforcement is. Down here, obviously I can patch this in, you know, and then if I want to get closer to the car here. So see that part right there? That's my 14 inches from here to here. Boom. So I originally cut this piece at 14 inches. So as you look up, I still gotta clean all this up. But see how it curves? And then back here, the structure of the car, like I was saying, was real flat right here. So I got that trimmed back, but it's hitting right there. So I need to trim the car piece back some more. But this I'm liking. See how good this fit? That fits excellent. Until it gets right in there. So there's some structure behind here I gotta get. Now remember, I set this to be on the top of the trunk pan. So I'm a little low. So a little bit more fitting. So I keep pulling it back out. Now I know I'm good here. Oh, I almost cut myself. I'm surprised I haven't. Now I'm gonna jinx myself, but anyways. So, you know what I'm saying, how this is tight. So I just gotta trim or grind this. Keep the same curve, just bring it in like a 1/4 inch. You know, all the way around. Just bring it in like a 1/4 inch. Leave back here. So I'll mark it. I'll put a mark. Oh, there's a mark there. So from there, all the way to, I'll go like right here. And then I'll just curve it, keep pulling it in, out, in, out, in, out. The frame rail is still, I'm not done with it. Like I was saying back here, how far this tub, actually I think the tub needs to go farther forward. Oh yeah, see how I have my line right there? So the tub is still about 1 inch back. So I gotta look in the car side to see where I'm hitting. It could just be that it's hitting here. So if I get in here and trim this inner rocker back some, then this will go back. This will go, yeah, there's plenty. So I just got to get that piece and then it go farther forward. So more fitting, a whole lot of work. I should have just cut it all out. Should have 2x3'd it or 2x4'd it and full tubbed it, but whatever. 101, it's fitting pretty good. My son was up in there looking at some stuff. He was out here helping me. He formed the 2 pieces together. How you lock them in. So we're about to put the other piece together because, like I said, I transferred that cut. So this is the same. Booyah. And then this side, I still have to do the notch. So I gotta get the rear end out of here. But everything is moving. I gotta put the other upright of this in here, clean this up some more. This side's tighter back here, so we're putting that tub behind this, I don't know. And then the way I gotta flex back here. But body mounts, body mounts, body mounts, body mounts. I'm so bad. So back here, like I'm saying, this is out here more, which is going back. This is, you know what I'm saying, this is back more. But I need that full inch to go farther apart. That'll leave this basically straight across. But where the mount's set up, I need to know where this tub's gonna sit before I start to make the mount set up. So, got some more work to go, but I'm on it. I gotta get this gone. All right, y'all. More tub work, more pigments in action. I'm on it. Yo, bet it up, bet it up, bet it up. All right. So, I got the tub sitting up in there. Got 2 self-tap screws. up in it to hold it in place, where I do believe that I want it, and to figure out the wrench sitting underneath there to pry it up. I'm probably gonna trim that a little higher, but back here, ain't like he's sitting there and push it in. This plate right here on both sides of the car is like different. So what I'm saying is, I wanted this to be up against the 3/4, but it's not. I haven't put the level on it yet to see where it's at. But I mean, it looks good. I cut this back a little too short, but it still fits in there, and the curve. So you see, I had to go that far out to keep this curve to where it didn't look like it was being pushed that way. Like I said, this is a 38-inch toe. And you can see how flat that area is where the brace is. So now with having this brace stuff, ties the upper tray, ties this lower tray together once the tub is fully. However, I'm gonna weld it in. Probably gonna make some split pieces to weld to the tub and to the car. Have it nice little crease, flipped out, reverse ankle, whatever. And then back here, I'm gonna cut this. I figured out what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut this open to get my area so I can use that hole. And I'm gonna use these ones that came in the kit. So like I said, I found, so these two right here. So these are pretty sturdy, and I'll make it tight in that area for these to go in there. So once it's pressed together, it'll stay together. Like I said, these are the ones, or did I not find this other one? I don't freaking know. I got all kinds of shit going on. But even if I set it up on both these to go in those back corners, I don't need that one to be in there. You don't need that one. So extra bracing, extra support, all this. I know some people are like, man, that looks janky as shit. This car was pieced together. The car was cut out wrong to begin with. The place that did it, whoever paid attention to this whole car, the whole build, the whole everything of it. The other place had it for 2 years, and they cut it all the way out, and they were building that 2x4. Man, that shit was thick. 2x4 by quarter. It might even have been thicker than quarter. It was heavy. It was a tank. And then yeah, I was gonna 2x3 it. I know I've said it over and over and over. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that sitting there. Me and my son didn't form the other one. There's the half moon. The other piece is laying up there. So we didn't form that one yet because I was too busy trying to fit that one. But I think it fits. I think it fits well. So that little gap is gonna be nothing to tack. So there's gonna be plenty of tacks on the inside right there. Plenty of tacks all the way through this whole inner side. I had to split this part up here because this was pushing back too much on this tub. So in here, I mean, the line is a little bit this way, that way. I bent it when I was pushing it in the other side, but I can straighten it out. So I still got to get down in here to weld. As you can see, I plated, but I got to weld all that in. And then this structure right here, I'll straighten up this cut, and I'll straighten this cut. It's not too thick. Yeah, there's a thicker part back here, so it'll weld heavier here. But the metal that I have, I mean, that came out pretty decent. There's a gap underneath that, but on this side of it, I'll be able to strip it and weld to the top of it and weld to the car to cover up that gap. That obviously needs to be fully welded. But the steel that I have for this is thicker than this, which is these pieces. These pieces were given to me. See, that's pretty thick. I forget if there was a sticker on here, I could tell you what gauge it is, but this is some pretty thick shit. If I can cut this, which will make all that shit stronger. So like even back here, I'm gonna cut this back some more, but I'll be able to build the square setup and the box setup and have the setup underneath of it, that how it has the structure in here now, to be able to, I might just be able to bolt it and put the actual body mount in there right here. But this is thin compared to the other stuff. The other stuff's gonna be thicker. And the more I overlap it, the more I go with it, boom, and make it stronger. Here, I'm gonna fill this hole in with that same stuff. I got, what is it, 4 pieces of it? I could have had as many pieces as this. This is like, there was a fireplace being made in some house and the lady didn't like it, so they changed it. And she didn't like it again. Big $1 million house or some shit. But I got 4 pieces, which, I mean, just this one piece would be more than enough to do all the structural work in here that I'm gonna do. But yeah, see, that is real squarish right there. The box Chevys are real squares too. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of staying curving, then it goes flat. So you gotta get as far over as possible, which as you can see, I'm basically full tubbed right here, you know? And I started with 14 inches. So from there over, started at 14 inches. And I just kept trimming it to fit. This part back here, I think when I first cut it, I mean, it's flat with it, so that's gonna be flat with the bottom, so that's fine. The front was real long, so I had to cut the front down, and the front's gonna probably get cut down some more. But I pulled the rear edge all the way out. Now I gotta do a whole bunch of cutting to this tub, to that frame rail. So I figure I'll get all this. See, that's what I'm saying. This piece, it sits way in more. I'm gonna trim this more so I can do the same thing and get that tub behind this piece. I'm gonna have to trim this all the way. So this side is probably gonna be closer to the half moon than that side. So how this floor was cut when the tubs were, so this part of the floor was with this notch and that cross brace that's in there. So that cross brace that's in there, when they put that plate in there, obviously this plate is more in. That plate was probably bent out more. Or when they put the tube up in there after they plated it, probably wedged it where it pushed that side out more. It's all good. I'm gonna tie off of that and I'm gonna come down. So that's the other thing. If I don't end up putting anything in here, I'm gonna come off that tube underneath here and go around into this frame rail to make this whole structure, to make it stronger. But I think it's gonna be pretty strong. I'm gonna be pretty strong. This is why I have not been answering my phone, y'all. I've been trying to get this done. I hate that the original people that cut it out, like I said, that on the very top there, where the seat bracket is, they used a plasma cutter or something, and instead of going straight across. But I'm gonna be able to go straight across the top of that. I'll probably cut a straight line and use that same material, set it up against there and onto the top of the tub, weld it to the tub, weld it to the car where the seat bracket is. So that piece would probably be what, 4 inches tall by whatever the width is there, 8, 9 inches wide. And then that, the more structure for the body to, you know, the floor, the package tray, which is the back deck, would all be tied together. So I got my marks right there on how far I went with the tub in that pocket over there. So you can see that hole, which over here, that hole. So how far I gotta cut farther forward. Oh, my knee just popped. All right, y'all, I got a lot of nasty, grimy cutting work to do on this tub. Getting all that undercoating off of that shit, but I'm gonna cut out what I'm gonna cut out first, so that way I don't clean stuff that I'm cutting out. But see how jagged that shit is? He did that with a plasma. That shit, they might have even did it with a torch. Anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna get this frame. I know you guys like what it says. It says mark ass nigga. But my son did that for the mark ass because of, you know, the neighbor mark this, so mark ass, and then what? Some of you might find that funny, or might not find that funny, but I think it's funny. Anyways, I don't hide nothing. I ain't a mark, that's for sure. But whatever. All right, bet it up. Let me get. On that note, let me cancel this video. No, I don't know what fuck. I'm gonna get to it. Then bust my ass. That fucking rear end fell off the jack backwards. Made a gear lube mess right there. The wood burner has got plenty of heat coming off of it. You know I gotta do it. Y'all. I actually have sweat here. See if you can see that. I actually have sweat on my forehead. That says 47. This isn't even on. And this says it's set at 54 and it's saying 55. So easily 55 degrees in here. The fan up there is on low, just enough to push that heat. Not that thing's pushing up there, and this is pushing up there. And my little V-Vor heater. My little V-Vor heater up there. So now I'm debating I should buy another one of these because, like I said, that was 97 bucks. Amazon, TikTok, whatever that was, TikTok. I only just finished off that 2 gallons. And what's that? It's at 60% left, so gotta go the rest of the day. Let's see how long it's been on. It has been on for an hour and 40 minutes. So that's when I turned it on. Only been out here an hour and 40 minutes. That clock is wrong on that gauge over there. Not too far off, only about 15, 20 minutes off. I put in a good 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Yesterday, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't come out here. Yesterday, we were in the 0, what was it, 0, and then -2, whatever. I think during the day it was like 8 degrees. So I came out here and it said it was 26 in here. And we did have sun, so it probably would have been fine. It's just, I didn't want to waste the wood on a colder day and have to run the wood, you know, that's all I got left over there. The wood. So, but it's all good. All right, y'all, slowly but surely, a lot of structure. And again, with that stuff, once I go through and weld it a lot more, weld that front a lot more, weld the sides more, weld all those pieces more. With mounting anything to the trunk, I'll probably put 2 in there, so right in the center, so that way it strengthens up all that area. But then you can mount amp rack, boards, whatever. It'd be easy to mount the panels to that and have some structure to screw to. I'll probably clean this up better, but then again, nobody's ever going to see it because of whatever's going to get done. It looks like this is bent down a little more. It looks like it's probably just a shadow. But yeah. All right, I'm on it. I'm just yapping. Bet that up.